Story Part 2. It's been a hectic couple weeks. Along with my work and side gigs picking up, the wife and I were battling. I saw a lawyer. After I explained everything, he suggested we try to work it out before he gets involved. The house is still not a business and cannot be sold as such. We would have to sell it as a house, unfinished, which would lower the price. We have sunk well over $100,000 into the house plus the mortgage. The lawyer will have to consult with a real estate attorney and maybe one dealing with businesses. So their fees are going to be high. So, I try to approach the wife to see if we could talk. I don't know if she is embarrassed being caught, but she has dug in her heels. She told me to leave the house. I told her I have no plans to do that. Then she countered with my giving up the master suite and me moving to one of the bedrooms. I again tell her I don't plan on it either. She then says she is off the next couple days and will move all my stuff out and put it in the foyer for me to decide where I'm going to stay. So I end the conversation. I went out where my supplies are stored and grabbed a new door lock with a push-button keypad. I was going to install on the bedroom doors once we had guests. We can change the combination after each guest. I installed it on the master suite door. The next day I went to work. When I came home after a day of angry messages for putting the lock on, she was livid. "How dare you lock me out of my bedroom," was her war cry. After back and forth I asked if we could please talk. She finally agreed. Later that evening we sat down. I told her I was very hurt to find out of the affair and that I wish she would have told me she was not happy. She did not say anything. So I continued with that as far as I am concerned the marriage is over. She just nodded her head. I then told her I had been to an attorney. This caught her by surprise, by her look. I explained what the attorney said, that it would be best if we could come to some agreement what to do. Our largest asset is the house, and to sell it we would take a huge loss. She just smiled and said, "I can prove that I have paid the mortgage, so the house is mine." I shook my head no. My attorney explained the house is a marital asset. Both names on the mortgage. I then pulled out a couple binders. I have every receipt that I have spent filed by room on what has been spent. I started this just out of curiosity and just kept going as we finished rooms. I can prove I spent thousands of my money in refurbishing the house. She was caught off guard by the receipts. She has not been to an attorney. I propose that we live peacefully, together, finish the house. We can then set the B&B up. She could buy me out of the business at that time. She dug her heels in again. No, I need to leave. If not, she has plans to move Stevie in. This hurt like a bit. I got up and got a glass of water, to collect my thoughts. When I came back to the table I told her if I see him in the house or on the property, I would start disassembling everything that has been done. Every nail and every screw I put in I would take out. Every light and plumbing fixture would be taken down. I said I would not destroy them because I own them. I would replace them with any old piece of salvage material I could find. I said think about it, consult with whoever is giving you dime store advice. Let me know. Yesterday, she came to me. We had not talked in several days. She asked if we could talk again. She had talked with our kids. I had called each and told them what's going on. Our daughter suggested to her that we stay in the house to completion. Start the business as I suggested. Then maybe I could move out but still own 50%. Mom could run the business, bringing in an employee or two to help run the place, do yard work, give Mom a day off. I told her I would think about it, but my stance on Stephen will not change. So I have another appointment with attorney. The big issue is we probably will not be in business until 2023. The outside needs much work along with landscaping, plus we need to come up a room for one of us to live in. The room I am in is part of the rooms to rent. TLDR, the marriage is over. Now it's how to come to separation without bankrupting us. Comment 1. You should start over with your life. She is no longer worth it. I show you that she doesn't care about you anymore. Did she really smile at you when she thought she could take away your house? What a shorter person. I recommend that when you can go out there you had fun and continue with your life. It may not be easy, but eliminate it completely from your life. Comment 2. While your wife went scorched earth, now is the time for you to go Hiroshima Nagasaki. Did you ever consult with your lawyer about the repercussions about exposing her affair to her job, about the relationship with her and Steve? She is emboldened with because she has backup plans, because if things don't work out with the B&B, her and Steve can always go back to their job. She is knee deep in the fog and she really doesn't have any consequences for her actions. She have too many demands and she needs a checkmate to put her back in line. Comment 3. Your wife seems to be very spiteful. She's also an RN and has access to lethal drugs and compounds. I'm not sure how far she is willing to go to get her way, but if I were you, I would not eat or drink any food or beverage she offers. Always prepare your own food. Keep it under lock and key if possible. Also, remove her as a beneficiary on any life insurance policies you may have. Let her know you have taken this step. Always record any interaction with her. I recommend installing security cameras. Remember, you're living with someone that will benefit greatly from your passing. Good luck and stay safe. Comment 4. It is amazing to me that a wife of 30 years could be so disrespectful. I've been with my wife 29 years and we've had our ups and downs, but infidelity? No way that would happen. If your wife was that unhappy, she should have addressed it and not act like a giddy schoolgirl experiencing her first love. She is 54 years old and with her life experience she still doesn't realize that most relationships that start off because of adultery collapse in a short period of time. Boggles the mind that a woman this age could be this naive and foolish. Just wait till she wakes from the affair fog and she will wake and says, what the hell have I done? As far as you op with what you have posted and told us, I would go scorched earth on her. She led you on to complete her dream with knowing all along her intentions were to replace you. Don't let her get away with it. I have to ask op what your children think of their mother for doing this to their father? I got the impression from what little you said that they maybe had a well that's life attitude about it. Please tell me I'm wrong. As for Stevie, I would have one conversation with him so he knew the score. I'm so sorry op and I wish you Godspeed. Comment 5. Stevie, her hero, can buy out your share. He wants her. He must put up his hand to be her partner. She just stabbed you in the back after 31 years. You say she cut others up but never you. Guess what? You were her primary then. Stevie is now. That's why you are disposable. People speak of affair fog. There's no such thing. She loves him. It's screwed and sick. But throughout COVID she was having a hard time. She confided in him. She vilified you and old Stevie poured the honey into her ear, pining for that old house. Living like a large landowner. Slowly eroding her resistance. She not innocent. Instead of turning to her husband she turned to him. Searching out his attention. I would for divorce purposes not tell HR. You want her employed. But if you know colluages, tell them the truth. There's sure to be honest people who will not stand for this. If they can complain, the hospital can put them on different shifts. All these small things can add up to something. If your lawyer's not aggressive enough, get another. This thing is over. She not coming around. Passive is your death now. Time to draw battle lines. Implement 180 in Grey Rock. Serve her and demand she communicate through a lawyer. Why do you want to prepare a room for her? She used rooms all over the hospital to screw Stevie. She spent the weekend with him. Those rooms are of the type she used too. Keep your room. She bought him his man cave utilities. She supports his team now. She is his problem. You do not service her car. If it breaks down, Stevie her go-to. Read another tread of guy whose wife at exit affair like yours. Car broke down on highway. She calls him. He rushes over. Gets his kids. Into his car. She calls after him. What about her? His reply, phone your boyfriend. Both of them are schemers. The best you can do is get out. As cleanly as possible. Let Stevie buy out your debt in this venture. Make sure you tie off all financial liability. You have knowledge. Your lawyer is right, you cannot add your sweat to the quantum of the value you can claim. But you can remove your knowledge from their venture. An old property like that takes skill to build. You can remove the skill. Your kids through their proposal are trying to force her to stay with you. We all know if a bird wants to fly, you cannot keep it. Even a golden cage will not satisfy her. You love your wife. It's time to let her go. But you should not suffer for her choice. Bind her and Stevie. Partners in deceit. Partners in infidelity. And hopefully partners in business. Between their shifts running a business with the struggles without knowledge. Their love breakaway will end and reality will set in and give their union of deceit a bloody nose. Cut your losses. I know you're scared. I know you pray you can salvage this. You cannot. She needs a stiff dose of reality. You're shielding her from it. Comment 6. Wow, thanks for the update. I'm sorry to hear that your wife had, as predicted, been planning to screw you over when the house was finished. I'm sure she is angry that you screwed up her plans and now she can no longer control the narrative. You say that your wife has been spiteful to others. Has her personality changed even more for the worse since this started? I know she abandoned you emotionally, but before D-Day did she also treat you worse than before? I'm just curious, since I have heard that the wayward spouse will show all the signs of a drug addiction and would do and say anything to get their next fix. That includes walking over any friends and loved ones. Sorry you are going through this. I am glad to hear that you have not taken this lying down. With my thoughts above about how she has been acting recently, do you honestly believe that she would be an appropriate partner in any kind of business with you, let alone one that you have sweat blood over? 2 to 3 more years is a long time to suffer. Comment 7. Consult a different attorney because it sounds like you're getting bad advice. As many have said, time to cut your losses. This situation can't continue for 2-3 years. You said 2023 to get business going, usually at least 1 year to make any profit. You will never get to move on with your life at this rate. And there are far too many people to deal with. It's probably easier to just BK it coupled with the divorce. At least that way she takes the same hit that you do. Wait to report to HR until after the divorce, as you don't want to hurt the alimony calculation. Take the short-term hit and move on. I don't see any way other it's going to quickly work out. Actual mileage may vary. Good luck and keep your head up. It sucks because you did nothing wrong. Please keep us updated. Comment 8. This guy Steve is using her. She told him all her dreams, and I'm sure he is telling her what to do about how to get out of the way. Don't leave anything important in the house. Put cameras and voice recording equipment. She will try to move him in. She is not the thinker he is. She is acting emotional. If possible, let people that know them both like at work to know what is going on. Make it public. He for sure won't like the embarrassment of being labeled as a cheater. Their relationship needs to feel the pressure of what they are doing, at work, in public. He is there more for the possibility of landing an easy retirement that him didn't even spend on a nail. That her. I'm sure he is not ready to loose a dim for her. Comment 9. First off, as other people have suggested, do not have another conversation with her without having a recorder in your pocket. The way she was so sure the house was hers and that she was smiling about it, that was the work of this Steve character. He's after the property and the house, and she's a vile, easily conned sucker who's fallen for his act hook, line, and sinker. There's no other way to put it right now. She is your enemy, and his puppet. He's going to use her to attack and chip away at you personally in any way possible. Document every single interaction you have with her. If possible, I'd have a third party as a witness to any meetings you have with her. And do not tell her anything that you aren't legally obligated to. Guard every bit of info you have to counter any stunts she tries to pull. She's going to actively look for any way to hurt you and ruin you, and I'd bet money she'll drag the kids into it and hurt them if that's what it takes. I don't know if this similar story is true, but the underlying legality of it is accurate. An account I read online was of a husband and wife who had just finished building their dream home on 200 acres of forested land. I think it was in Pennsylvania, and then the wife turned around and divorced him, revealing an affair just like yours. She got the house in the legal battle, but it was a calculated move on the husband's part. He stipulated he wouldn't contest her getting the house if he got 180 acres of property. She didn't see the catch that his property line now was approximately an acre away from the front of her newly acquired home. The bulk of her 20 acres lay behind the house. The ex-husband then hired a logging company to clear-cut his entire 180 acres. As in blast it to the ground. He then sold all the topsoil, so there was trucks and heavy machinery clanking on the property past the house day in and day out. Then for the grand finale he leased his property to a gravel company. So now the ex-wife was staring out at a barren wasteland, with loud machinery clanking and working around the clock excavating a giant pit. There was no way she could contest it, as it was his property. The crews had installed their own roads on and off the property, so they weren't using roads on hers, and they were outside any city limits, so there was no route for her to take there. To say that the house lost value was an understatement, and the ex-husband got to sit back and watch her try to sell it, lowering the price repeatedly till it was a shadow of the price it had started out as. I've no idea if there is anything in your situation that you could negotiate and exploit to this degree, but in a case like yours, revenge is a dish best served legally, and cold enough to freeze hell over. Comment 10. If your state allows it, have the police issue a no trespass order against Stephen. It is legal and fine for you to do it since you have marital property. There is nothing she can do against this, then he cannot come on the property or be around it. If he does, he will be arrested for trespassing. Want to make a statement to her? Do it. Thanks you for watching. Everyday new movies. See you soon.